Good evening, everyone. This is Ankit Kapoor. I happen to be the managing director at Pratham Test Prep. And welcome to a brand new web series that we are starting today called Pratham AlumSpeak, right? The basic agenda of today's or from now, the webinars that will happen under AlumSpeak would be to make you guys meet the Pratham alumni that have gone out of Pratham doors from a really long time, as well as who are doing exceedingly well in their scope currently. Why we are doing this is because, as you understand, that the kids of today would be able to better understand somebody who's been there, done that, and who better to talk about all of these things than the Pratham alumni themselves, right? So, using the Pratham alumni, we will be talking about various aspects and various career options which are available to students after class 12, right? And our alumni are going to talk to you about their journey, how their dream college helped them in getting where they are right now, with respect to what positions they hold in the company, वो क्या कर रहे हैं, आगे क्या करने का plan है, what was their journey through college. Because see, with the white hair that I have, I'm sure you understand that I would have passed out of college long back ago, right? But meeting slightly younger audience, younger kids who were relatively newer to passing out of college, probably you guys will be able to relate with them a lot better. So the first edition in today's in the first segment of web series that we're going to start is on sales and marketing, and here with me is Shivam Gupta, right? Shivam Gupta is a Pratham alumni of 2010. So yeah, he's not a relatively younger horse. It's been 10 years that he's passed out. He is a BBS from Delhi University, and he further went and did his MBA from IMI in New Delhi. And from 2015 to now, he's been working in the corporate sector in different domains, and he is here to talk about his journey through the corporate sector, and especially sales and marketing. Right, Shivam? How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you, thank you for having me here. And yeah, 10 years. I mean, it's just suddenly struck me that it's no longer graduation, MBA. 10 years. It's pretty long time. And an amazing journey. Started with Pratham, BBS, then MBA, then as you said, 5 years in the corporate sector.
So Shivam, इतना आसानी से काम नहीं बनेगा यार, ठीक है? हमें detail चाहिए. We want all the details. Take us back into the past and tell me what was your mindset when you were getting out of school that time?
Yeah. So okay. So 10 years. Let's rewind. I remember, so I had science. Parents wanted me to become an engineer, like any other Banya parents, if I may say so. And like any other Banya child, I did not want to become an engineer. And तो बस उसी
स्कूल में चल रहा था है ना?
हाँ, उसी में ही बस ये चल रहा था कि अब करना क्या है. And I don't know if you remember. So I was taking board tuitions in one of the centers in Safdarjung, and you had organized a seminar there to talk about BBS and all, because at that time it was relatively a new course. And so that's how I got to know about BBS, about Pratham, and I was very intrigued. Generally, see how it works. You get good marks in 12th, you get through a good DU college. But here comes a course which has a 4-stage entry process. You need to get good marks in board. You need to crack the aptitude test, and then comes group discussion and personal interview. So that intrigued me that okay, undergrad course maybe ye sab cheeze hain, so it looks to be a good course. And then Pratham helped me with my group discussions and personal interviews, and finally I cracked BBS. Then those 3 years in BBS.
रुक जाओ अभी एक जर्नी पे हम थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ेंगे. शिवम साइंस ली क्यों थी बेटा?
सर साइंस लेने का प्लान तो था. आई मीन आई डोंट नो, कोचिंग भी ले रहे थे, बट समहाउ. हाँ जी,
इंजीनियर बनने की.
हाँ जी, बट सी समहाउ at that age your thinking is predominantly driven by the important people in your life, especially your parents. So generally कि भाई डॉक्टर के बच्चा है तो वो थोड़ा डॉक्टर की तरफ ही सोचता है, इंजीनियर का है तो वो उसी तरफ सोचता है. So वही thinking था, but somewhere during my 11th 12th I somehow realized that this is not my cup of tea. I never regret science ना. Yes. I never regret
सोच के साइंस लिया था शिवम की यार आसान ही है. 10th तक तो साइंस आसान ही थी, 11th 12th तो
आगे भी कर लेंगे. Yeah, but even today I say many people don't believe me, but I do not regret taking science. जो science का 11th 12th में आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, that still stays with you for the rest of your life. And I always had an inclination for economics. Then once you get good marks in DU board exam में, तो फिर then I had
planned the boards में है शिवम.
सर अब वो छोड़ो, क्या बात करनी है वो. So आप ये याद करो ना, आप पूछो कि BBS में कितने आए थे.
मैं वो पहुंचूंगा मैं वहां पे. बट यार शिवम, why I'm sorry, not trying to embarrass you or anything, but why I'm asking you this question is probably because a lot of kids who have joined right now probably would be wondering कि यार ये शिवम है, अच्छा कर रहा है, काम कर रहा है, मतलब start looking boy and everything, doing well in life, MBA है, इसके बोर्ड्स में भी बहुत अच्छे नंबर आए होंगे. तो मैं I want to actually, and whenever I take sessions, I generally talk about my board marks. So मेरे तो कुछ ज्यादा अच्छे marks आए नहीं थे, right? So I just wanted to burst this myth कि यार marks आए या marks ना आए, क्या BBS या BMS जो आज की डेट में BMS है वो हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता? पहले
definitely हो सकता है. See, that's the point ना. अगर if only the marks are important, if BBS crack करने के लिए आपको सिर्फ मार्क्स लाने थे, तो it would have been very simple. They would have considered your 12th result, right? Then what is the point of doing the aptitude test, group discussion, interview? So in fact, see, board exams are important. मेरे भी 93 आए थे, 93 94 आए थे.
SRCC की कट ऑफ कितनी थी उस साल?
I think it was somewhere around 96 97 थी उस टाइम पे.
तो SRCC तो नहीं मिलने वाला था.
Yes. So but I got a good college in North Campus. I had Ramjas Eco Honors, I remember. So Ramjas Eco Honors is a reputed thing. I mean, it still is. Yeah. And in fact, I withdrew my admission from Ramjas and then joined BBS.
Yes.
So it's sir, वो inner calling होती है. That it might sound philosophical, but एक वो inner calling होती है, मेरे को ये वाला कोर्स करना है. This looks interesting. अंडरग्रेड लेवल पे बोर्ड्स में मार्क्स लाके एडमिशन, आई मीन नॉट दैट इट्स अ स्मॉल थिंग, बहुत बड़ी चीज है, बट दैट किक कि यार 12th का बच्चा ग्रुप डिस्कशन दे रहा है, पर्सनल इंटरव्यू दे रहा है, सो दैट गिव मी अ किक एंड अट्रैक्टेड मी टुवर्ड्स BBS.
यार देखो इससे जस्ट लर्निंग, आई जनरली व्हेनेवर आई टेक सेशंस ना, जब भी कोई अच्छी सी चीज होती है, आई जस्ट टॉक अबाउट द लर्निंग्स फ्रॉम इट. ऑल द पीपल हु आर अटेंडिंग दिस वेबिनार, वेदर ऑन फेसबुक और ऑन यूट्यूब और ऑन जूम राइट नाउ एज वी आर स्पीकिंग, please understand the biggest learning that you can take out of Shivam's journey is that firstly he was a science student, secondly BBS or BMS as we know it now is a stream neutral course, and third everyone has an equal chance of getting through, right? Correct. And your board marks are not the most important thing.
Exactly.
Right? If I'm able to put it into crisp words, ये 4 हम learning अभी तक हम draw कर सकते हैं शिवम से कि साइंस वाले बच्चे कर सकते हैं clear, right? सिर्फ GD इंटरव्यू क्लियर करने के बाद भी हम के बेसिस पे भी बहुत अच्छे कॉलेजेस में पहुंच सकते हैं. Marks are not the only benchmark for you to decide whether you are going to do well in life or no. And yes, BMS is a stream neutral. बहुत बढ़िया. So Shivam, BBS कर लिया हमने दीनदयाल उपाध्याय से, correct?
Yes.
If I remember it, and my memory is not going to go bad on me here, you actually topped BBS across the 3 colleges that were there right that time. Am I right?
Yes, sir. And I still remember I topped first year, second year, and the overall batch, graduation. I
topped all 3 colleges: Shahid Sukhdev, Deendayal, and Keshav, right?
Yes.
Brilliant, huh?
So, हमारे time पे Sukhdev was the college to beat. So I topped the entire university, and I still remember when I used to put my Facebook status saying "Thank you God, thank you parents, I topped." तो अंकित सर का नीचे कमेंट आता था कि ग्रेजुएशन में 88% कौन लेके आता है. So yeah, I mean, so that's what I said. BBS, I was not, always that topper student. I got good marks, but then the fact that I topped across university in BBS itself shows that, BBS is not like every other course in DU. I mean, with all due respect to those courses, but if a person who's cut out for that management role, right, who enjoys presentations, who enjoys doing industry visits and all, he can easily do that. And trust me on this, I did not used to study. मैं अभी मॉम को बुला के ले आता हूँ साथ वाले रूम में. मैं ग्रेजुएशन में नहीं पढ़ता था. My friends मानते थे.
Now Shivam, you are being modest here. यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग बोल रहे होंगे कि भैया 93% बोर्ड्स में आए हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप करके बैठे हैं, 88% यूनिवर्सिटी कॉलेज में आए हैं. ये पढ़ने के अलावा और कुछ नहीं करता होगा.
सर अब देखो ग्रेजुएशन वाली गर्लफ्रेंड्स को बुलाना पड़ेगा फिर.
This is interesting, huh? We're going into an interesting.
We'll come back, sir. Sorry, we'll come back.
चलिए, बहुत बढ़िया. So you topped the university. ऐसा क्या interesting था BMS course में Shivam that it unleashed a different side of you?
So, sir, to be very honest, I remember, so being a science student, I think the only challenging thing for me was accounts. Because commerce के बच्चे accounts उन्होंने school में 11th 12th में पढ़ा है. Me being a science student, मैंने accounts नहीं पढ़ी थी. And I think business studies, right? तो वो मेरे लिए थोड़े से new subjects थे. But apart from that, I remember most of the BBA studies. It just simply, when I used to write an exam, जो केस स्टडीज वगैरह आती थी, मेरा सिंपल फंडा होता था, ओके क्वेश्चन इज हियर, ठीक है, आई वुड इमेजिन माई सेल्फ इन दैट सिचुएशन एंड देन आंसर द क्वेश्चन. सो लाइक आई स्टिल रिमेंबर in BBS, you'll have management questions like that, you're opening an amusement park, write down the management principles that will help you in opening an amusement park. So it's not rocket science. I just imagine myself as a person who's now going to start an amusement park. मेरे को क्या चाहिए, कॉस्टिंग, मार्केटिंग, फाइनेंस, कैसे मैं चलाऊंगा, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. एंड व्हाइल थिंकिंग ऑल दैट, यू जस्ट यूज दोस टेक्स्ट बुक वर्ड्स, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, 6 सिग्मा. तो वो 2-4 वर्ड्स चिपकाओ, उसके आसपास अपनी इमेजिनेशन के आगे डालो, एंड बस.
Shivam, what you're not realizing is that it's not the imagination here. It is actually the business acumen जिसको तो imagination के तौर पे बोल के पेपर में डाल रहा है, right? It is your business acumen. So can we safely say Banyas are cut out for business?
So sir, see, my friends, most of my friends are Punjabis, and they always say कि यार बनिया कंजूस होता है, बनिया कंजूस होता है. मैंने कहा यार नहीं, तुम लोग को ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा. बनिया को पता है कहाँ पैसा डालना है और कहाँ नहीं डालना है. मैं उसको समझदारी कहता हूँ, तुम उसको कंजूसियत कहते हो. So that's what it is.
Right. So what you were thinking of how to run business you were 19, 20 when you were thinking of how to open amusement parks, how to open companies. And I'm sure आज की डेट में अपना, before we jump onto your थोड़ा सा और आगे, ये सारी जो चीजें आज की डेट में तुमने BBS या MBA में पढ़ी है, रियल लाइफ में यूज हो रही है ना? काफी हद तक तो प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज मिल रही है.
Yes, sir. Yes. So I think that's a very important point, sir. So I hear a lot of talk going around that, भाई हमने स्कूल में पाइथागोरस थ्योरम पे इतना टाइम लगाया, पाइथागोरस थ्योरम आज की लाइफ में कहाँ यूज होती है, या मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस या एचआर थ्योरीज कहाँ यूज होती हैं. I personally don't believe that. See, it's up to you that, you know, whatever was taught to you, whatever you studied, what you extracted from it and how you put it in real life. If you simply you're reading the books for giving the Monday exam, then 10 years down the line you are going to complain, यार वो मेरे काम नहीं आ रहा है. But if you always questioned कि यार अगर ये पढ़ाया जा रहा है तो क्यों पढ़ाया जा रहा है, अगर मैनेजमेंट का ये ज्ञान है तो क्यों है, you go into the depth, it will always be helpful. It will always and always be helpful.
Right. So a very interesting thing कि यार practical knowledge जो आपको मिल रही है at that young age, then see this is what is required in the industry. मेरे को जहाँ तक लगता है, and probably you can correct me if I'm wrong or bang on. शिवम, probably आप भी अब मिड मैनेजमेंट लेवल में पहुंच गए हो अपने कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में. आप भी आपके नीचे भी काफी लोग आते होंगे.
Yeah.
Right now, you can also differentiate between somebody who's from a regular college vis-a-vis somebody who's from a professional college. ऐसा difference लगता है तेरे को actual corporate life में कि दोनों के बीच में difference है या नहीं है?
Yes. No, in today's times, it's very important, sir. If you want to climb the corporate ladder, management education does play an important role. I mean, with all due respect, एक time CAs का था. तब CAs बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड में होते थे, बट आज की डेट में मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन goes a huge way in deciding your career. And there's a very important point. I come across that a lot. People sometimes I come across people, they say that look at all these big entrepreneurs. So let's take Dhirubhai Ambani. So people say Dhirubhai Ambani ने MBA नहीं किया था. आप सर ये सोचो, धीरूभाई अंबानी ने MBA नहीं किया था, उनके टाइम पे MBA की इतनी वैल्यू नहीं थी, लेकिन he made sure that both his sons did MBA. So times change, and with changing times, management education does play a very important role, especially if you want to go up the management ladder.
मतलब you are absolutely correct. बच्चों के बीच में डिफरेंस दिखता है. People who come in fresh to your companies and reporting to you कि यार एक बंदा BCom करके आ रहा है, या कोई बंदा MBA या BBA या BMS करके आ रहा है, दोनों के बीच में फर्क दिखता है.
बिल्कुल सर. I mean, so obviously when you come, आप MBA करके आते हो, especially with a good college like for example an IIM, तो थोड़ा सा एक वो आपके माइंड में होता है, यार I am an MBA guy, तो वो थोड़ा सा एक डिफरेंस आता है. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, इवन इफ यू डोंट हैव दैट टैग, इफ यू वर्क हार्ड 2-3 months में आप में वो पॉलिशनेस आ जाती है. सो प्रोबेबली इट्स नॉट द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कि यार मैं पीछे हो गया हूँ, मेरा कॉलेज उतना अच्छा नहीं है या मेरा कोर्स उतना अच्छा नहीं है. Yes, the other person might have a head start only because he or she has that polishness, mail drafting skills, convincing skills, communication skills. But if you had that passion,
you'll have to implement them on the ground, right?
Exactly. So आपका degree आपको एक तरफ, yes, it plays an important role, but it will only take it up to a certain level. Beyond that, it's up to you how you manage your skills.
Right. So all those people who are raising their hands right now, you can please use the question and answer section to ask questions. जो भी relevant question होंगे, I'll definitely ask Shivam or answer myself. Right. So feel free to put in your questions so that we are able to make it an interactive session. बढ़िया. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So from 2010 to 2013, BBS as we call it, BBS के जो 3 साल थे, प्रेजेंटेशन कितनी करनी पड़ी थी, आती थी करनी या नहीं आती थी करनी, क्या सीखा, and how did that transform your personality, and how did that help you in getting a secure job in sales and marketing that you are in right now?
So presentation, I mean, it's a very important point. I remember, I think जो अभी students सुन रहे हैं, they might be able to relate, when you're doing those projects, right? Presentation is not something जो मैं एक हफ्ते से बना रहे हो, right? All of us make the presentation the night before. So that time when you're sitting with 10 people, with 6 people, coming up with their ideas, putting it on a PPT, and going tomorrow and presenting. In corporate life, it's not much different. So if tomorrow I have a client meeting, I did not know 6 months in advance, like exam में date sheet 2 महीने से आई भी आप पढ़ रहे हो, right? ऐसा नहीं होता. क्लाइंट का सुबह फोन आता है, सर शाम को आ जाओ मीटिंग के लिए. आई कांट से कि सर मेरे को 1 हफ्ता दीजिए प्रिपेयर करने के लिए,
प्रेजेंटेशन बना लो सर मैं.
एग्जैक्टली. So because you have given all those presentations in BBS, the ability to think on your feet, impromptu कुछ बोलना जो सामने टीचर को स्ट्राइक कर जाए, that's some management jargon out of the book. So वो जो presentation देके आपका confidence built होता है ना, that goes a long way in BBS. And I
remember Shivam, I was from an all boys school and absolutely a wreck at talking in public, right? I was absolutely pathetic. मतलब कभी डिबेट में, कभी किसी स्टेज पे जाके कभी कुछ नहीं बोला.
Right.
And जब I went to do my BBS from Sukhdev, but man, दिन रात presentation कर करके they just it becomes a habit, right? कि आज presentation नहीं हो तो there's something missing, right?
Exactly.
So, इतना presentation दे के हम आगे बढ़े थे कि when I went and did my MBA, I saw a lot of people. I had a very diverse culture background. People from I had doctors in my batch of my MBA. I had chartered accountants. I had BCom. I had 2-3 लोग तो मेरे सुखदेव के बैच से भी थे when I was doing my MBA. I mean, you could see a sea of a difference between people who have done it before and people who are doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? So, Shivam, पहले थोड़े से question ले लेते हैं, ठीक है? And then we'll continue with your journey, ठीक है? So that's the question. So Kunal says, can we do BMS from DU with art stream? बिल्कुल कर सकते हो कुणाल, as long as on date today BMS अगर आपको DU से करना है, you just need to have a compulsory maths degree with yourself and a minimum of 60% in your 12th. उसके बाद एंट्रेंस क्लियर करके और बोर्ड्स में ठीक ठाक नंबर लाके आप पहुंच सकते हैं बीएमएस करने के लिए सुखदेव में या दीनदयाल उपाध्याय में. एंड प्लीज नोट, ये आप गलत फहमी में भी मत पड़िएगा कि Sukhdev is the top of the line and Deendayal and Keshav are not there. I am purely, Shivam has been a university topper, and trust me, a lot of juniors post him who are from Deendayal Upadhyay did their BMS or BBS. They have also topped the university across 3 colleges. So ऐसा बिल्कुल भी मत सोचिएगा कि लोगों को कि you have any disadvantage अगर सुखदेव नहीं है तो दीनदयाल है, ठीक है? So पहला चीज. दूसरा क्वेश्चन है, what is the difference between BMS and BBS course? यार हमारे टाइम पे हिमांशी was a BBS course, आज की डेट में उसका नाम चेंज करके BMS कर दिया है. कुणाल का हम आंसर कर चुके हैं, BBA. Okay, how did you get the placement? And that is one question श्रुति ने पूछा है. और एक और क्वेश्चन है Arushi Sahayika, I am also from a science student and will be appearing for IIM Indore next year. So how do I balance both? Right? So that's another interesting question. ठीक है, प्लेसमेंट के बारे में श्रुति और लोग आपसे बहुत पूछ रहे हैं, ठीक है? Arushi also says how to face the interviews for you also faced your interviews, right?
Yeah.
चलो अभी इस पे आंसर करते हैं शिवम, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. बताओ.
So that's an obvious question. I can understand. As a student, placement is the biggest thing कि भाई हमारी placement हो गई, हमारा वो ROI आ गया, हमारा जो पैसा लगाया undergrad में या MBA में उस पे return आ जाए. So see यार, I mean obviously placements, yes, there is a good role played by the course, by the college. So our college had those placement cells. In fact, I was the team leader of our
अभी आप तो BBS की बात कर रहे हैं, IMI की बात कर रहे हैं?
BBS. And so placements, yes, I mean see, as an at a graduation level placement itna, placement cells are not that mature, not that well defined, as well defined as in an MBA college. So graduation में, to be very honest, थोड़ा सा आपको fight आ सकता है. आपको खुद pressure, आपको खुद fight करनी होगी. You need to keep your eyes and ears open.
शिवम, आज की डेट में तू थोड़ा पुराना हो गया है. आज की डेट में everyone has placements in Deendayal, Keshav and Sukhdev. All 3 have 100% placement, so don't worry.
Wow, that's perfect, sir. That actually
हमारे टाइम पे यार जो लोग जानते कहाँ थे, मैं तो और 10 साल पहले था, तो मेरे को CBS बोलता था तो वो बोलते थे कॉलेज ऑफ वोकेशनल स्टडीज. मैंने कहा नहीं, बिजनेस स्टडीज वाला,
झिलमिल कॉलोनी वाला.
Right. So 10 years ago, maybe the focus on getting jobs at an undergrad level was not there even at your level. आप मतलब for me also, I was not very inclined towards getting a job after my BMS or BBS. And same goes with you. And ये आज से कुछ 5-6-7 साल पहले का ही सिनेरियो है जब placement has become the order of the day. Reason उसके पीछे ये भी है कि a lot of MBA colleges now want people with work experience to join their courses because it's easier for them to get placed subsequently.
Correct.
Right. So, but if you're good at what you do, matlab, even if you're a fresher in an MBA college, you will end up getting a job, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's a very important point, sir. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of my, my juniors from MBA and other people ask me that, why did you do MBA after BBS? Now, as you said that, now a lot of focus is on placements and, getting a job after graduation. Some part of that was also with us. So when I graduated, I got a good placement from BBS as well, from Deen Dayal. I got a good placement. The same company used to recruit from Sukhdev as well, decent package for an undergrad level. So I had that job in my hand. Now, but I was also taking coaching for MBA, and I did crack MBA, and I cracked all the top tier 2 MBA colleges. So you leave the top IIMs apart, and उसके बाद जितने भी tier 2 में अच्छे MBA colleges आते हैं सारे crack कर लिए थे. Now, many people say, as you yourself said, that some of the MBA colleges prefer WorkX, after graduation. So why didn't I do that? So that was a very calculated decision. So I'll tell you, मेरा mindset क्या था. So what I thought that if after BBS I immediately go for an MBA, I am 2 to 3 years ahead of my peers. मेरा BBS के immediately बाद MBA हुआ, 2 years में MBA done. I started my corporate journey. So I'm 2 to 3 years ahead of, compared with people who did 2 to 3 years of WorkX after graduation and then did MBA. अब उसके बाद 2-3 साल के WorkX के बाद, even if they did their MBA from an IIM, and obviously they started at a mid-manager level, but because I have started 2 to 3 years early, right after my graduation, so after a point of time, we both would be at the same level. So that was a calculated decision that I took. And secondly, CAT is a tricky exam. So I gave my exam once, I got a good percentile. What's the guarantee next year or better hi aayega? So it was a calculated decision. So, you need to keep that in mind that, it was a very, I thought it through कि यार मेरे को एक बारी BBS के बाद MBA करना है, I cracked a good college, and then I'll go for my corporate journey. Okay. Couple of more questions. How was your interview experience, Shivam, at BMS level or at an MBA level? Do you think जब आप MBA के इंटरव्यू करने के लिए गए थे कि BMS या BBA का कोर्स के थ्रू जो आप गए थे, that definitely helped you crack all the interviews that you probably had? Absolutely, no doubt about that. When I'm sitting in an MBA interview, now just imagine I'm sitting with another person who's an engineer, ठीक है, या फिर some other course where maybe while doing their graduation or their engineering, they have not actually faced interviews. I don't know. I mean, but for me, BBS में group discussions, interviews वो दिए थे, so they definitely helped me in my MBA preparation. So there was no fear, कि group discussion होगा, interview होगा. BBS की interview कैसी थी? BBS interview, 10 years. I remember a very obvious question was that, why BBS after science? That was a very obvious question. रगड़ा था तेरे को शिवम हमने? I still remember कि एक 2 घंटे इंटरव्यूज होते थे कि नहीं ऐसे बोलना है ये अच्छा बट आपका हमेशा ये था सर see I am not going to give you the answer has to come out from you. I can only tell you the correct way how to put it. So that's very important. These students, they must take note. There is no copybook answer for an interview. There is no right or wrong answer. The answer has to come from you. In coaching, in these mock interviews, you can only be polished. The way you should speak, कैसे आपको बोलना है, वो उसका meaning सही जाए. तो वो एक important है that you have to be yourself in your interviews. You have to be natural. अब sir, just to add here, you remember अब जब group discussion की trials करते थे, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा बोलता था. You never tried to stop me from that कि यार इसको कम बुलवाओ. मेरा नेचुरल है मैं ज्यादा बोलता हूं तो यू कांट डू. अब वीरेंद्र सहवाग को आप थोड़ी बोल सकते हो कि तू डिफेंड कर, बट आपने क्या सिखाया था कि हाउ टू टोन इट डाउन अ लिटिल इन ग्रुप डिस्कशन, हाउ टू मैनेज टोनैलिटी, किसी और को चांस देना. तुम अपनी आवाज ऊंची करके सामने वाले को चांस दोगे बोलने का, लोग ऐसे ही तुम्हें ब्राउनी पॉइंट्स मिल जाएंगे. So वो कोचिंग बहुत जरूरी हो जाती है आज की डेट में.
चलो बहुत बढ़िया. चलिए, another very interesting question, Shivam, from a student called Yash. Can a non-commerce guy become a businessman? I mean, is commerce education important?
No, not really. There is, if a science student can do management, a non-commerce student can do a business. कोई कहीं पे ये थोड़ी है कि आपको बिजनेस का लाइसेंस लेने के लिए कॉमर्स डिग्री चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है.
And like he said, he's a science student who he did his management education, right? So anybody can. Commerce education is not important. Arav says, which according to you is best? I am Indore or Sukhdev. Yeah, I would पहले दोनों को क्लियर कर लो, उसके बाद डिसाइड करेंगे कि कहाँ जाना है, कहाँ नहीं जाना. अभी कुछ क्लियर नहीं हुआ है. अभी don't make castles in the air, guys.
Absolutely.
अच्छा, Ananya asks you a question. How exactly did you choose your career?
So I think we have covered the BBS part. So we have now come to MBA. So MBA, first year, all the peers were, most of the peers were engineers and people with work ex. So I had to adapt through that. Then, but MBA, I mean, so you can understand that because you have gone through that. So the best days of my life. So at that time, don't overthink कि मेरे को क्या career बनाना है, क्या कैसे करना है, क्या you cannot have everything planned. You have to go with the flow, right? So in MBA, I always had an inclination towards finance, but I knew that without marketing I can't survive, right? Be that any field, you need to have marketing skills. So our college IMI had this option of dual specialization. So I went for finance and marketing, and I did my internship with JP Morgan. So that was one big, step in my corporate career. So internship with JP Morgan, that helped me a lot. That was a very big step in my career.
So college से लगी थी placement, summer placement?
Yes. And
और BMS के अंदर कब क्या करी, कहाँ पे करी थी summer placement?
Yeah, so BMS में I after first year I interned with a web designing firm. उस time first year के बाद mandatory नहीं था, सिर्फ second year, but I did after first year as well. So I did it with a web designing firm. I was into content writing. So that was my first year internship. And then second year I did my internship with a financial firm in Delhi only, Globe Capital. So there I did my second year internship. And again, so internship during this time, आपको इनफैक्ट स्टूडेंट्स को इंटर्नशिप की टेंशन लेनी चाहिए. करियर कहाँ बनेगा वो जब टाइम आएगा बन जाएगा. आज if you take care of all these things, internships and everything, you are automatically on that track. Your resume keeps getting strong. And as I said, so then MBA में JP Morgan, that was the first company on campus, day minus company. I cracked that, and from there my Bombay journey started. So I interned in Bombay for 10 weeks, and JP Morgan had a PPO, structure, pre-placement offer. So if you do well in your internship, उनका internship process ही बहुत rigorous होता था. अगर internship में आपने अच्छा किया, so they would give you a final placement offer. I mean, you go back, you finish your MBA, and then come back and join us as a full-time employee. So I accepted their offer, and that's how my corporate journey started.
Summer internship led into a job as well with JP Morgan. बहुत बढ़िया, तालियां बजा सकते हैं इसके लिए, right? So great. So another interesting question. ये बहुत बढ़िया question पूछा है श्रुति ने. She asks you, is it necessary to do a MBA after a BBA from a good college?
See, it's not necessary. It's not necessary that you need to do an MBA after BBS or BBA. See, I did MBA because मेरा passion था. After doing BBS, I was intrigued with management studies. मेरे को बहुत मजा आता था management का. I had that passion. That is why I went for MBA. There is no cutout thing that after BBS you have
but
to.
But a good brand college does definitely give you a head start, right? मतलब
yes,
head start तो जरूर देता है एक अच्छा brand का college.
Yes.
मतलब good head start is one in terms of placement, second in terms of packages. So अगर आप एक tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 college से आ रहे हैं, अगर आप सेम कंपनी में भी होंगे तो एक अच्छे ब्रांड के कॉलेज के बच्चे को बेटर पैकेजेस मिलेंगे as compared to a tier 3 or a tier 4 college, right? So please note that.
Definitely, sir. I mean, these days a lot of talk is going on that management education is becoming very expensive. MBA कॉलेजेस की फीस बहुत ज्यादा है, ऑल दैट स्टफ. हमारे टाइम पे भी ज्यादा थी, बट मेरे केस में था, एंड आई एम श्योर बहुत लोगों के केस में ऐसे ही होगा. इट्स सिंपल मैथ्स. आपको फीस ज्यादा लग रही है वो ठीक है, but if you're recovering that fees with probably a 1 year or 1.5 years of corporate work, that's cool, right? That's fine. Yeah. Because in 1.5 years you have recovered that money and you have that MBA thappa, you have a head start in corporate. Now that will help you through your rest of your life.
Okay. Another question, Arushi Sai, I think she's a science student as well, like you. Being a science student, did you feel any difficulties in studies in college, as most of the other students were from commerce stream?
So as I said that, only accounts I remember would what comes in debit, what goes out credit, something like that. तो वो accounts थोड़ा सा challenge था शुरू में, but with it takes hardly a couple of months. I mean,
आरुषि यार बच्चे की जान लोगे क्या? साइंस का बच्चा है, मैनेजमेंट कर रहा है, यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप कर ली, फर्स्ट जॉब ऑन कैंपस, ही गेट्स प्लेस्ड. बच्चे की जान लोगे क्या आप? मतलब सीरियसली?
No, so seriously, on a serious note, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, कोई fear नहीं है. शुरू के 1 महीने 2 महीने आपको लगेगा कि यार ये कॉमर्स वाले बच्चे को ज्यादा इजी हो रहा है. 3-4 महीने में सब सेम लेवल पे आ जाते हैं. Only you put your effort, that's it.
So there is a Mr. V. Krishna Mohan. He asked scope of engineering versus scope of MBA for job perspective. यार इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद भी एमबीए करना ही पड़ेगा यार. इंजीनियरिंग
मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स सर, जितने फ्रेंड्स हैं सबने इंजीनियरिंग, मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ माय एमबीए फ्रेंड्स 90% ऑफ देम वर इंजीनियर्स. सो इट्स अप टू यू यार. आपको इंजीनियरिंग वाला, अगर इंजीनियरिंग के बाद आपको अच्छी जॉब मिलती है, यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट इट, देयर इज नो कोई वो रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है कि आपको एमबीए करना ही है. If you want to do a head start, you want that push in your career, you go for MBA. As simple as that.
प्लीज मैं आप लोगों को, बच्चों को ये समझा देता हूँ यार, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. अगर आपको एक अच्छी जॉब चाहिए, आपको अपने पास पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल पे एक प्रोफेशनल डिग्री चाहिए हो. आप अंडर ग्रेड पे कुछ कर लें, आप इंजीनियरिंग कर ले, बीकॉम कर ले, आर्ट्स कर ले, कुछ कर लें, बट अगर आपको नौकरी चाहिए कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में, तो दोस्तों आपको एक प्रोफेशनल डिग्री से पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन करना हिंदुस्तान में तो बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. इसके बिना नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी. ये गांठ बांध दीजिए. तो प्रोफेशनल कोर्स अगर आप अंडर ग्रेड प्लस पोस्ट ग्रेड पे करेंगे, डबल, मतलब इट्स अ डबल थम्स अप, राइट. अगर आप अंडर ग्रेड पे रेगुलर कर रहे हैं, पोस्ट ग्रेड पे आपको एक अच्छे कॉलेज से प्रोफेशनल एमबीए करना पड़ेगा, तब आपको नौकरी मिलेगी, राइट. सो प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज आर बोथ अंडर ग्रेड, पोस्ट ग्रेड, ग्रेट कॉम्बिनेशन, राइट. इररिस्पेक्टिव एक प्रोफेशनल कोर्स एमबीए आपको पोस्ट ग्रेड लेवल पे बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी चाहिए. आई होप Priyal, we have been able to answer your question. Priya Jindal, right?
And just to add to that, I mean, just remember, guys. See, as you grow in your career, right? As you grow, तो जो आपकी लास्ट डिग्री होती है ना, उसकी लास्ट डिग्री या लास्ट जॉब, उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस धीरे धीरे कम होती रहती है. सो अब ग्रेजुएशन से आपने पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन किया, देन यू वेंट फॉर योर, सो इन पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, कहाँ से किया है. After post graduation, you go for your first job. So first job में your MBA is important. Your graduation is not that important. Then in your first job, it's important आपने MBA कहाँ से किया. Then in your second job, your first job experience becomes important. So when I moved from JP Morgan to Edelweiss, JP Morgan में क्या किया, that was important. MBA या undergrad में क्या किया, वो उसकी important धीरे धीरे.
वो भी है ना, वहाँ पे भी तो ये पूछा गया होगा कि MBA कहाँ से किया.
Yes, पूछा गया था, बट इन द इंटरव्यू ज्यादा क्वेश्चन ये थे कि जेपी मॉर्गन में क्या किया था.
आई एम श्योर जेपी मॉर्गन या एडलवाइस पे भी जंप करने पे, यस, तुमने जो पहला काम किया था वो इम्पोर्टेंट तो था, बट जो टैग ऑफ कॉलेज था,
yes,
वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट होता ही होता है. चलिए, कमिंग बैक नाउ, थैंक्स फॉर लीडिंग अस इनटू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नाउ शिवम, 5 साल हो चुके कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में तेरे को, है, तो प्लीज टेक अस थ्रू योर कॉर्पोरेट जर्नी यार.
सो कॉर्पोरेट जर्नी.
So बच्चे ये भी पूछ रहे हैं कि आप अपना अभी काम क्या कर रहे हैं सर.
Yeah, so okay, I'll answer that first. So I manage Delhi and the nearby areas, primarily North India, for Edelweiss's DBG business, which is domestic brokers group. So I manage the entire North region. All these stockbrokers are my clients. As small as any broker on the street and as big as probably a Zerodha. So all these brokers are my clients. We provide them funding solutions. We provide them clearing services. So that's my job profile. Hardcore B2B sales, not even B2B sales. It's institutional sales. So hardcore sales. That's what I do. And prior to this, So coming to my corporate journey, as I said, I started with JP Morgan. They had this, very grand management trainee program. We were very well taken care of in Bombay. And, that 2 month induction period, that was our honeymoon period. मतलब बढ़िया बढ़िया होटल में रुकवाना, बढ़िया खाना, मस्ती, amazing time. I still miss that. And then after the induction period, so I got a role in middle office. So basically, in these big MNC firms, there's a clearly defined structure of front office, which includes your sales and marketing, then middle office and back office. So back office is your operations and your admin staff, IT, and middle office is the bridge between front office and back office. So I was in middle office, client service role in their custody space. So I used to manage client accounts across the globe. All these big pension funds, huge mutual funds across the globe. So I used to do client service for them. And project management, we did a couple of migration projects for JP Morgan. So I spent 3 years in JP Morgan, was promoted to a manager level, always had good ratings. And then from JP Morgan, so I always wanted to come back to Delhi. My parents are here in Delhi. I'm a Delhi boy. So I spent close to 4-5 years in Bombay. So while working in JP Morgan, I was always looking out for jobs in Delhi. But that was the tricky part because, it's difficult to find a job in another city, right? So वहाँ थोड़ा सा challenge होता है. And if we have time, I would like to, share this story.
Go ahead, please, man.
Yeah, so I was looking for jobs and I got a call from Edelweiss. किसी के through call आई and interview के लिए बुलाया. So the profile जिसके लिए मेरे को बुलाया, I was very clear that this does not make sense. This profile is not for me. And मतलब मेरा level भी वो नहीं है. With all due respect, थोड़ा सा lower level का था, right? But for some reason, भाई call आया है तो ठीक है जाते हैं अपन. There's no harm in it.
पता चल जाता है market value क्या है.
Exactly. So I want I want everybody to hear this carefully. So गया इंटरव्यू देने मस्ती में, ठीक है. एंड ऐसा जब आप जाते हो ना, आपके ऊपर प्रेशर भी नहीं होता. आपको पता है कि आपको ये जॉब ना मिलेगी ना करनी है, मिल भी गई तो करनी नहीं है, ये अपना वो रोल ही नहीं है. सो प्रेशर भी कुछ नहीं होता है कि इंटरव्यू क्रैक करना है. So gave the interview, cracked the interview, and as expected, the lady said that Shivam, you're not fit for this role. We are looking for someone more like a fresher for this role, right? And I was like, cool, because I expected it. And then she said that, but I still want you to meet our CEO. So I was like, theek hai, I mean, I won't say no. So CEO of a big company, Edelweiss is a big Indian name in the financial industry. So I was like, fine. So the lady takes me to the CEO's office, and what I see, the CEO of this company is an ex-MD of JP Morgan, who used to run that management training program, जिसका मैं part था. And I was like कि अरे सर आप इधर. And suddenly जो इंटरव्यू में मस्ती के लिए देने गया था, ऐसी लर्निंग के लिए देने गया था, the entire game has changed. I recognize that person in a jiffy. Big hotshot, JP Morgan MD, Edelweiss CEO, and when he read my resume, he also understood, acha, you're from that MT program in JP Morgan, which I used to run. So I was like, okay, and now I'm completely serious and okay, ab kya hoga? So this person asked me, yaar, ye tu is role ke liye kyun aaya? This does not make sense. You should do something related to, what you were doing in JP Morgan. I was like, yes, sir, main to aise hi aaya tha. Now this guy says, Shivam, in Edelweiss, we are expanding our custody business, and you have custody experience from JP Morgan. So why don't you try that? So now it's become serious. Now entire thing is changed. So I was like, ठीक है सर, आप बताइए मेरे को मैं कब आऊँ? कहते नहीं कब क्यों? आज ही करते हैं सारे इंटरव्यूज. Same day, जिस चीज के लिए मैं मस्ती में गया था, on the spot, I had 3 technical rounds. HR round, and finally the interview with that MD, and by the end of the day I had an offer in my hand. So completely surprising. That
is what is called networking, Shivam.
Absolutely. I still think अगर मैं उस इंटरव्यू में जाता ही नहीं कि यार ये कोई अच्छा रोल नहीं है, क्या करना है इस कॉल का, तो आज मैं एडलवाइस में नहीं होता, आज मैं इस रोल पे नहीं होता, इस लेवल पे नहीं होता. So that completely changed for me. I joined Edelweiss. I started again with project management, operations, and all. The people saw my performance there, and then Edelweiss, suggested that why don't you try sales? I personally wanted to come to Delhi. I had a couple of family things to look after here. Edelweiss wanted a person in Delhi who can manage sales. They took a call on me. That was a gamble for them because I had zero sales experience, no sales experience. So they trained me for 2-3 months, hardcore product training. They took a gamble, sent me to Delhi, and then probably in hindsight, 1.5 years, if I look back, I can proudly say that their faith in me is justified. My bosses, they say that कि ठीक है, तेरे को chance दिया, and it worked out.
बहुत बढ़िया, awesome. यार एक बात बता, now you're doing hardcore sales, right? There are a couple of questions relating to your corporate experience. मतलब पहले लोग अभी तक corporate life में गए नहीं, but पहले सर प्रिया जनरल पूछ रही है, सर after all these great achievements, are you able to get time for yourself? Means most of the time I hear out is that corporate jobs are hectic. Are you able to get time for?
See, there's a lot of talk going about work-life balance. आजकल इसके ऊपर बहुत डिस्कशन होता है, बहुत सेमिनार, हर कोई इसके ऊपर एक्सपर्ट है. I don't believe anything, work-life balance कुछ भी नहीं होता है. You like your work is fun, right? And
brilliant answer, Shivam.
There is nothing like you don't have time. It's up to you how you take out time. हम लोग सर जॉब में, अब मैं when I was in Bombay, when I was doing JP Morgan job, I used to slog 14 hours a day. I mean, that was fun for me, right? I don't have any family in Bombay. I didn't have any family in Bombay. I used to lead a bachelor life. और क्या चाहिए आपको? 13-14 घंटे ऑफिस में आप काम करो, उसके बाद रात को मरीन ड्राइव घूम रहे हो, पार्टी कर रहे हो. That's work life balance for you, right? It's not work life balance का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप 9 घंटे में घर आ जाओ. It's up to you how you enjoy that, right? And trust me on this, when your boss sees that you're working 13 hours 14 hours a day, जिस दिन आपकी शाम को पिक्चर की टिकट बुक्ड है, आपका बॉस आपको कभी मना नहीं करेगा कि तू जल्दी मत जा. So it's up to you how you manage, right? It's up to you.
Absolutely. If you're true to your job, everyone is going to just take care of you irrespective. छुट्टियां भी मिलेंगी, पिक्चर की छुट्टियां, पिक्चर के लिए जल्दी फरलो भी मिलेगा, सब कुछ मिलेगा, right? So it's all about how you manage. But most importantly, काम करना और अपनी performance when you are at your job is very very important. यश आज किया 10 score important है.
Class 10 score. Important है, but okay, I'll answer it like this. If you score well, it will help you. If you don't score well, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको problem होगी. आपका career नहीं बनेगा. If you score well, it's an added advantage. If you don't score well, no issues, no problem. आगे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जहां आप अच्छा करके, जहां पे आपने अच्छा नहीं किया उसको छुपा सकते हो.
Brilliant. चलिए अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. So किताबें बहुत पढ़ ली होंगी हमने, BBS में भी और IMI में भी, राइट? किताबें पढ़ी होंगी, कॉटलर तो हमारे को रटी हुई होगी, I'm quite sure. ठीक है. So what is the connection in what
में फिलिप कॉटलर ही किया और कुछ नहीं किया.
That doesn't change from my time to your time. Another 20 years down the time, Kotler will not change.
Yes.
ठीक है. Can you tell me the connection between bookish management knowledge and real life? How you apply it in real life?
So see, sir, as I said that if you're expecting that bookish knowledge में आपने कोई concept पढ़ा है, you simply take that out and simply put it in real life and your work is done. ऐसा नहीं होता है, right? Bookish knowledge is important. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको उसके बिना आपके लिए easy रहेगा, right? So bookish knowledge is important, but you need to understand how to put it in real life. These BBA students, they would have studied in HR about positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. It's a very simple concept. आपको किसी को negative reinforce, आप किसी को बोलोगे कि boss, if you don't perform, मैं fire कर दूंगा. That's negative reinforcement. आप किसी को बोलोगे if you perform well, मैं आपको bonus दूंगा. That's positive reinforcement. Now bookish knowledge है. अब इसको आपको अपनी real life में apply करना है. ठीक है? When I meet clients, I can't give them negative reinforcement. कि सर अगर मेरे पास शिफ्ट नहीं हुए मैं आपके ऑफिस के आगे जाके धरना दूंगा. I need to give them positive reinforcement. Sir, if you shift to me, I'll give you X, Y, Z benefits which my competitor is not giving you. Right? This is how I make your life easy. That's positive reinforcement. So bookish concept, but it's up to you how you implement it in your real life. And wo with experience ही आएगा आपको धीरे धीरे, and by talking to your seniors, your mentors, वहाँ आपको बहुत learning मिलती है. So networking here is very important.
Okay. Another very important question that I wanted to ask you. आज की डेट में you are looking at the sales and marketing career very, very closely. How do you think this sales and marketing job profile is panning out in the corporate sector, and how important it is right now, and should people opt for it or no?
So, I mean, so to be very honest, in these Corona times, if you're in sales, then you're screwed. So it's very difficult. I mean, unless and until you are working in Patanjali or in medicine, so unless and until you're doing that, you are a little screwed, right? Your real estate sales, financial, banking sales, everything is going through a tough time. But see, we need to understand this is not permanent. ठीक है, problem है, market crash हुआ, 2008 में भी crash हुआ था, things change, right? It's just that you need to stay strong, you need management backing, and you need to just weather this period out. One of my Edelweiss managers, he used to tell me जब मैं sales में नया आया था, that Shivam, sales is like your food, your mouth and your food pipe. आपकी बॉडी में आप अपने माउथ से फूड पाइप से फूड लेते हो, राइट? उसके बिना आपकी बॉडी सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकती. सिमिलरली सेल्स के बिना कोई कंपनी सर्वाइव नहीं कर सकती. सो सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल, and sales has an aura attached to it, especially B2B sales, because when you go out, you're representing your company, right? You're the face of your company, so there's an aura attached to it. And another important point is that in a sales role, your horizon broadens, right? With all due respect, in an ops role or in a desk job, you are only limited to the work assigned to you for that day. Sales में, you start thinking, like it's your own company. In sales, कि सर टॉप लाइन कैसे बढ़ाना है, सेल्स कैसे बढ़ाना है. चलो किसी एक ड्राई फेस चल रहा है, टॉप लाइन नहीं बढ़ सकती, अपन बॉटम लाइन को कैसे ठीक कर सकते हैं. सेल्स आपका उतना ही है. अगर आप कॉस्ट कटिंग करो तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इंप्रूव हो सकती है ना. सो लाइक एज सिंपल एज वर्क फ्रॉम होम, राइट? आजकल इन ऑल दीज कोरोना टाइम्स, even sales people, they're doing work from home, right? That saves on your office cost. Your top line is same, but your bottom line is improving. So sales, helps like that. It broadens your horizon. But there are negatives as well. I mean, trust me, there are a lot of negatives. So I've done both, operations or financial role and sales role. Ops में क्या होता था, sir? You're done with your day's work. You're done with it. You switch off. In sales, you never switch off. You never switch off. रात को सोते हुए या इवन जब मैं बाथरूम में हूँ, मेरे दिमाग में यही चल रहा है कि कल क्लाइंट से क्या बात करनी है. So sales में you never switch off, right?
Money is where sales is, right?
Yes. And having said that, in sales, but then you have flexibility. So like I know about Edelweiss, I don't have that, foundation कि मुझे 9 hours clock करने ही करने हैं. There are days I do one client meeting, I'm done for the day. And there are days that one client meeting goes on for 4-5 hours जब कुछ important चल रहा है. So it's up to you. I mean, both careers are rewarding, sales and, finance and operations. But depending आपका personality.
That thrill and that kick comes from sales, I think.
Yeah. If you
see that physical product going to the consumer trying it, using it, giving you feedback, all of that.
And trust me, sir, when you convert a lead, जब आपकी deal crack होती है, there is no high like that. There is no high like that. Life की कोई feeling वो match नहीं कर सकती है. जब आप किसी क्लाइंट से 1-2 साल से बात कर रहे हो और फाइनली वो कन्वर्ट हो जाता है.
बढ़िया है. चलो, अब बोर तो नहीं होना ना तू?
You should ask others. वो बोर हो रहे नहीं हो रहे?
यार अगर आप बोर हो रहे हैं तो please tell us. We'll ask him interesting questions about his personal life. Pranav, quickly I'll just take you through the questions. Important points to succeed in personal interview. I am Rohtak and I interview. पहले भाई entrance होने दो. Entrance अभी सब कोरोना की वजह से आगे push हुए हैं. Interview के लिए हम तैयार करा देंगे. आपको चिंता मत कीजिए. I am sure Shivam was a living example of it.
Absolutely.
एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन है अंगद की तरफ से, व्हाट आर द वेरियस अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट you are looking at post corona times? सेल्स में तेरे को क्या लगता है कि पोस्ट कोरोना टाइम्स में क्या इंप्रूव होने वाला है?
So see, it's a very generic question. See, it's a simple logic है. जब when you are at the lowest, so the good part of being at the lowest is now the only way is the way up. आप इससे नीचे जा ही नहीं सकते, right? You talk about stock market. March में हम 42,000 Sensex level. I hope everybody knows Sensex, Nifty and all, right? So 42,000 के Sensex level से आप 25,000 पे आ गए. And so it was harakiri, right? कि सब लूट गया, बर्बाद हो गया. World has come to an end. May month was the best time for stock markets in the last 10 years, 15 years in these corona times. But for the only reason that stock market एकदम low पे आ गया था, यहाँ से only way was up, right? US is a developed nation, developed है, उनकी 15 trillion economy है, तो उनका growth rate कम है. India is a developing country, हम लोग नीचे वाले लेवल पे हैं. तो जब हमारी GDP US से बहुत कम है तो हमारा growth rate ज्यादा है. Similarly, post corona times, most of the businesses have seen their lows. तो वहां से आपको improvements ही दिखेगी धीरे धीरे. Restaurants, your food industry, your real estate, everything will pick up.
Education.
Yes. So obviously there will be some collateral damage. Most of the companies, they are looking at work from home with very as a very serious option. So most of these companies now, जहाँ पे इन्होंने महंगे rentals हैं, they'll forego these rentals, right? So real estate companies might get a hit, but again that's temporary. So ये phases आते रहते हैं, but we are looking at good opportunities post corona times.
Alright. अच्छा, अगर कोई बच्चा आज के डेट में अपना करियर बनाना चाहता है सेल्स और मार्केटिंग में, उसको क्या करना चाहिए शिवम?
So see, sales में if you want to make a good career in sales, I think you need three things. Three things are very important. First thing is patience. You need to be patient. Okay, sales without patience is not possible. You cannot bang on a client's head कि sir मेरा product लो, मेरा product लो, मेरा product लो. ऐसे नहीं होता है. You need to be patient. You need to keep on putting efforts. Sometimes sir, my manager in Edelweiss, उन्होंने मेरे को क्या सिखाया था कि you keep meeting your clients, you keep making relationships, build on your relationships. ठीक है? Today the client does not want to come to you. The client is happy in his space, happy with my competitor. But if you keep meeting that client, if you remain patient, you keep making a relationship, the day the client decides to shift, the day the client is facing some issue with my competitor, the first name that comes to the client's mind should be yours. से ही आएगा, relation से ही आएगा, आप relation build करोगे. बिल्कुल. And second thing, I think you need to know how to handle failures. I mean, sales में operations या financials में most of your days will be same. कोई भी दिन में बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं आएगा. Sales में you will keep having those highs and lows. So it's very important to come out of your lows. And I'm still working on that. I'm really bad at it. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये तीनों चीजें मास्टर करके या ये स्किल्स मास्टर करके आप सेल्स का करियर बना सकते हो. You need to work on these skills throughout your journey. So you need to be you need to keep your emotions in check for a career in sales. And third, I think probably the most important thing is networking. You need to be and sometimes many kids, many boys and girls confuse networking with being an extrovert. लोगों को लगता है कि यार एक एक्सट्रोवर्ट बंदा ही सेल्स कर सकता है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. एक्सट्रोवर्ट इंट्रोवर्ट से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. नेटवर्किंग का मतलब ये नहीं है आप एक आदमी से दिन में 10 बार ही बात करो, लाइक एन एक्सट्रोवर्ट. नेटवर्किंग का मतलब है you keep meeting new people, you keep a touch with them, you be there when they need you, right? And who knows कब कहाँ किसका
जरूरत पड़ जाए. बिल्कुल सही. टिपिकल सेलों की तरह बात कर रहा है शिवम अभी.
So I experienced it, sir. मैं अगर मेरे एडलवाइस के इंटरव्यू में वो जेपी मॉर्गन के एमडी नहीं निकलते तो as they say, rest is history.
Yeah. So this is a question by Sarvagya. He says, sir, your specialization in finance helped you more or sales?
So there's no copybook answer. Yeah, I did majors in finance, minors in marketing, but today I'm in sales. But I'm doing financial sales. right? So everything is in sync. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको
उसी की तरह अपना करियर शेप होता रहता है.
हाँ, आपका करियर उसी तरीके से चलता है. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है जो बच्चों को बहुत फियर होता है. मेरे को भी बहुत फियर था. व्हाट इफ आई टेक अ रॉन्ग डिसीजन? व्हाट इफ आई जॉइन अ रॉन्ग कंपनी? व्हाट इफ आई जॉइन सेल्स but I was not meant for sales? It's okay, it's not the end of the world. I shifted from ops to sales. Who knows, 5 years down the line I could go back to ops. It is difficult, it's not easy, but it's not impossible as well. So don't be afraid of making those choices. If this choice is wrong, what will happen? Just have faith in you and keep going. Even if you make a wrong choice, you'll have ample opportunity to correct it.
Correct, I agree. So there's never, as they say, it's never say never. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि एक जॉब गलत होगी तो बाकी सारी जॉब्स गलत होंगी, करियर खत्म, सब कुछ बर्बाद हो गया. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? There's a question, and then there's a personal question as well.
So यार ये see, I don't think that
interview it's seeming like all over again interview type.
ये BBS और MBA में इंटरव्यू में ये पूछते थे 5 years down line, what do you want to do? My answer used to be, sir, I see myself as a part of the management, of a top-notch company.
पहुंच गए.
So ऐसा इसको there's no fixed answer. I don't know. I might.
Another. So coming to a personal question, what are your hobbies and what do you do on a Sunday?
आजकल तो सर संडे और मंडे में कोई फर्क ही नहीं बचा है. In the lockdown time, all Monday.
Spend the time with your fiance, right?
Yeah.
So, don't blush now. Don't blush now. Don't blush.
I think she's also listening to this.
I'm quite sure. Hi, what's her name if you may want to?
Her name is Parul.
Hi, Parul. So I'm Ankit. I happen to teach Shivam long 10 years ago. So I'm taking some liberties. So welcome to the family.
She just messaged me. Can I also join?
She can definitely ask you a question. I'm sure I'm going to ask all her questions to you live.
Silent कर दिया सर.
वो क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर सेशन में पूछेगी, मैं जरूर पूछूंगा शिवम. अच्छा, सो अगर तूने ये जो 3 चीजें बताई, अगर कोई बच्चा सेल्स में जाना चाहता है, पेशेंस चाहिए, फेलियर हैंडल करना चाहिए और नेटवर्किंग करने की जरूरत है, तेरे को लगता है मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन जरूरी थी उसके लिए? है, इट डेफिनेटली हेल्प्स दो.
So, as I said, management education plays a huge role. It's very very important. मेरे को तो बहुत हेल्प हुआ. जो मेरे को BBS में पढ़ाया गया था, मुझे BBS से ये like I talked about GDs, right? कि मुझे BBS ने ये सिखाया था कि GD में जो सबसे ज्यादा बोलता है जरूरी नहीं है कि वो ही सिलेक्ट होगा. वो चीज मुझे आज भी काम आती है. जब हमारी ऑफिस की when we have those strategy meetings, it's more important for me to listen to others rather than I keep blabbering, right? So वो BBS की, वो प्रथम की जो पढ़ाई थी, जो कोचिंग थी, वो आज मुझे काम आ रही है, right? So management education, I won't say कि without management education you can't do it. You can definitely do it then as well. But management education plays a huge role in you
end up making lesser mistakes, right, Shivam?
Yes, and it helps you to make that foundation. उसके ऊपर building कैसी बनाते हो वो आपके ऊपर है. But foundation बनाने में definitely
अगर मैं बोलूं तुझे कि if you were to give me 2 or 3 reasons that a BBS or from Dindayal or an IMI from MBA from IMI helped in shaping your career, what would be those 3 key factors? अगर तू चाहता है तो दोनों के 3 अलग-अलग बोल सकता है कि BBS का अलग 3 और IMI के 3 अलग.
No, so so BBS helped me getting a good job. Right, it's always good to have options with you. अभी किसी का क्वेश्चन आया कि IIM इंदौर बेटर है या BBS बेटर है, राइट? किसी का क्वेश्चन आया, आप पहले क्रैक तो कर लो. आपके पास जब दोनों तीनों चॉइसेस हैं, फिर आप सीट में बैठे हो ना, यार अब बॉल मेरे कोर्ट में, अब मैं डिसाइड करूं मुझे क्या चाहिए. BBS helped me getting that job, right? So I did not go for an MBA just because कि यार कैट में पता नहीं दोबारा पास हो ना हो क्या हो.
I still believe शिवम तू IMI से IIM के लिए बना था. तेरे को मैंने उस टाइम भी बोला था IMI क्यों गया, तू IIM एक बार और दे देता तू पक्का टॉप किसी IIM का ठप्पा लगा के बैठा था. Which will get me to the next question which I'm going to ask.
Yeah. So BBS, I mean, no. So as I said that it helped me getting a job. It helped me develop that management attitude. MBA में obviously my first job, JP Morgan, big brand on the resume. Even in IMI, so as I said, IMI के interview में, obviously my JP Morgan experience was given a lot of given a lot of importance, but even my IMI tag held me there. So that MD, he said, boss, मैं JP Morgan में तुम्हारे college से जो बच्चे आते थे ना, मेरे को बहुत impressed था मैं उनसे. So obviously that helped me, right? And of course, even in Edelweiss, with an MBA degree, with a BBS degree with me, it's that much easier for me to to push my career upwards. Given if my boss has an option to select between two people with same skill set, agar mere paas management degree hai, I might get an edge over that person. So definitely, it helped me a lot.
A lot of people generally ask Shivam ki, is MBA education or any kind of management education all about books and studies and presentations, या कुछ मस्ती मजाक भी होता है?
Sir, I'll give you an example. MBA में I was the head of the finance club. मैं finance club का secretary था. And same I think BBS colleges में भी same होता है. आपके ये क्या कहते हैं, आपके festivals होते हैं, management conclaves होते हैं. हमारे BBS में भी होते थे, MBA में भी होते थे. We had to raise sponsorships. ठीक है. I remember मैं हमारा fest था और एक I won't take the name of that company, मैं उस कंपनी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ था स्पॉन्सरशिप के लिए कि सर हमको आप पैसा दो और हम आपका ऐड करेंगे, इवेंट ब्रॉट टू यू बाय XYZ, ऐसा आपका ऐड करेंगे ये वो. मैं 6 महीने से उस कंपनी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ था फेस्ट के लिए, स्पॉन्सरशिप के लिए, बट दे वर नॉट गिविंग मी टाइम टू मीट. इट वाज अ टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल कंपनी. MBA में मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन ओपन जो हराइजन, इतना ज्यादा आपको एक्सपोजर मिलता है. मैं सर अपने कॉलेज के एडमिन स्टाफ से बहुत बात करता था, ठीक है,
अटेंडेंस लगवाने के लिए.
अब सर क्या बोलूं मैं, वो
एडमिन हो गया, MBA हो गया, अब खोल सकता है पोल. तो
हम लोग के जो एडमिन वाले होते थे ना, हम लोग के जितने फेस्ट होते थे, टी-शर्ट्स बनती थी, होती थी, हम सब एडमिन वालों को दे देते थे ताकि उनसे सेटिंग रहे. एग्जाम वगैरह कोई टेंशन नहीं, अटेंडेंस कोई टेंशन नहीं, तो सबसे अच्छी बॉन्डिंग थी. सो मेरे को एडमिन वाले से पता चला ऑल दीज गुड MBA कॉलेजेस दे हैव एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम्स, राइट, दे हैव टाई-अप्स विद फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूट्स. सो मेरे को पता चला दैट माय कॉलेज had given a contract to a particular tours and travels firm. सडनली मेरे को एक आइडिया आया कि अगर मैं वो जिस कंपनी से मैं स्पॉन्सरशिप की बात कर रहा हूँ, अगर मैं उनको जाके बोलता हूँ कि सर आप मेरे कॉलेज के टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स के टाई अप के लिए क्यों नहीं ट्राई करते हो, वो तो उसके लिए बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस है. अभी तक मैं उसके पीछे पड़ा हुआ था, सर स्पॉन्सरशिप दो, अब वो मेरे पीछे पड़ा है कि यार अपने डीन से मीटिंग कराओ, अपने इससे प्रिंसिपल से मीटिंग कराओ. ये जो थिंकिंग है, ये आइडिया है, ये MBA से ही आ सकता था. और बुकिश नॉलेज इसमें कहाँ है? बुकिश नॉलेज, देयर इज नो बुकिश नॉलेज.
They make you street smart, right?
Absolutely. I got a call from that company. I still remember 12-1 बजे फोन आया था. हॉस्टल में हम लोग कैसे रहते वो मैं नहीं बताऊंगा यहाँ पे, बट हॉस्टल में बैठे हैं, रूम में मस्ती चल रही है. आई गॉट अ कॉल फ्रॉम दिस कंपनी कि शिवम हमारी 2-3 बजे ना हमारी बोर्ड मीटिंग खत्म हो रही है, वो अपना स्पॉन्सरशिप का बात चल रहा है ना, तुम अपना प्रपोजल लेके आ जाओ. विद इन 1 आवर हम लोग सूट वूट पहन के प्रेजेंटेशन बना के एक कंपनी की बोर्ड मीटिंग में चले गए और वहां बता रहे हैं कि हाउ विल IMI फेस्ट हेल्प यू इन योर प्रमोशन, इन योर मार्केटिंग. मैं सर 1 लाख रुपए की स्पॉन्सरशिप लेके आया था. एंड बिलीव मी, किसी और क्लब ने, किसी और बंदे ने एक प्राइवेट कंपनी से इतनी स्पॉन्सरशिप लेके आए थे. गवर्नमेंट कंपनीज दे देते हैं, बैंक्स वगैरह स्पॉन्सरशिप दे देते हैं 2-2 लाख 3-3 लाख, बिकॉज उनके CSR फंड्स होते हैं. एक प्राइवेट कंपनी से 1 लाख रुपए स्पॉन्सरशिप लेके आया था सर MBA में. दैट टॉट मी स्ट्रीट स्मार्ट होना जरूरी है. नो मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन, नो बुकिश नॉलेज.
बहुत बढ़िया. Any plans of doing a second MBA? Probably from abroad or somewhere.
Yeah, so I mean personally I might be wrong, but from what I feel, in India if you do MBA from a decent college, right, it does not make sense to do another MBA from another a good or a very good college. Either you do MBA, you do a second MBA from the top like an ISB Hyderabad, or or from abroad, right? But obviously there are obvious challenges to it.
अब शादी भी हो रही है.
Absolutely. तो वो पैसा वहाँ भी पैसा है, इधर भी पैसा है, so you need to take care.
Yeah.
Having said that, probably not a second MBA on my mind right now, but you need to keep upgrading yourself. You need to keep upskilling yourself. So like last year, I did a NCFM certification course. So NCFM certificate course is from National Stock Exchange. तो मेरा sales का जो role है उसमें वो demand था. So not necessarily like a second MBA, but something or the other which keeps upgrading you, which keeps upskilling you. So you should be open to that.
So there's a question. I don't know. I'm sure you will be able to answer it as well. So Yash says, okay, I know Pratham's education is useful for you, but please tell me, is it okay to join Pratham in class 11 because I'm looking forward to it? I think the answer should be yes. जितनी जल्दी start करोगे उतना ज़्यादा better ही रहेगा क्योंकि see, please understand, Yash. Sorry, I'm answering it on your behalf, Shivam. Yeah, Shivam और मेरे time में ना competition कम था. अब कंपटीशन बढ़ गया है, लोग ज्यादा जानते हैं, वो ज्यादा पहले से पढ़ रहे हैं to get a heads up, right? That's all about getting an extra edge over competition. So चाहे आप 11th में पढ़ो या 12th की beginning से पढ़ो या after 12th पढ़ो, आपको अपने competition को beat करना है. वो 1 घंटा, 1 दिन, 1 महीना, 1 साल या 2 साल एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ के आपके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आपका appetite कैसी है.
And just to add to your point, sir, हमारे टाइम पे 10 years back इतना ज्यादा BBS का नहीं था, right? But so probably I took that coaching at a later stage. MBA की कोचिंग तो मैंने शुरू से ही मतलब सेकेंड ईयर से ही चालू कर दी थी, right? So today जो probably opportunity मेरे पास नहीं थी या उस टाइम पे इतना information नहीं था, आज है. So there's no reason for you to start late. So with all this competition and the information out there, आप जितना जल्दी start करोगे उतना ही आपको benefit मिलेगा.
So शिवम, मतलब ज्यादा लोगों को और बोर ना करते हुए, शादी की डेट कब है?
सर पेरेंट्स ना सुन ले ये क्वेश्चन. So I don't know, sir. I mean, hopefully
post corona. I hope it's all post corona, right?
Go corona, बस यही चल रहा है.
Go corona अभी चल रहा है. बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत.
I don't know. It's easy for people to say, that 50 लोगों में कर लो, but it's I don't know.
शादी एक ही बार होनी है ना?
Exactly, hopefully.
अरे hopefully पिटवाएगा अपने आप को भी और मेरे को भी साथ में पिटवाएगा.
So yeah, I don't know, sir. I just hope trust me. I think this year the way things are going, I think you just take care of yourself, stay healthy, survive. That's enough. आगे के साल हैं और चीजें करने के लिए. इस time पे you just need to just take it through.
Right. So just to inform all the alumni, ये हमने जो webinar था अपने सारे alumni के साथ भी share किया था. We sent messages out to our alumni to join in. So जितने भी alumni ये webinar देख रहे हैं, so we've created a email ID which is alumspeak@prathamonline.com, ALUMSPEAK, alumspeak@prathamonline.com, right? अगर आपको ऐसे ही किसी वेबिनार पे आके अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस बाकी बच्चों के साथ शेयर करने हैं, please drop in a message on an email. I will be more than happy to get in touch with you and fix up a webinar like we have done for Shivam. It is absolute honor to and a very very great feeling to interact with our students. बहुत मजा आता है. Shivam, and 2010 was when I was 27, so yeah, really long time.
I
was yeah, मतलब बहुत टाइम हो गया है. मतलब तब हिम्मत भी ज्यादा थी, एनर्जी भी ज्यादा थी, तो उस टाइम के बच्चों से जो इंटरेक्शन होता था हमारा, मतलब इट वाज अनमैच्ड. आज भी है, इंशाल्लाह ऐसा ही इंटरेक्शन और ऐसा ही प्यार बना रहेगा. So alumspeak@prathamonline.com is the email that you need to send us an email. कोई क्वेश्चन पूछने हो तो आप हमारे को फेसबुक पे या यूट्यूब पे कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हैं. We'll be more than happy to get back to you. काफी क्वेश्चंस हमने यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी शिवम ने पूछ लिए हैं. कोई और पूछने हो तो नेक्स्ट 5 मिनट्स में पूछ लीजिए. As we have, so Arushi says, as we have sort of holidays now and comparatively have more time, some tips if you want to give.
So yeah, I think I think mainly personally, learning in this lockdown is you need to have that routine. Office, work from home के चक्कर में वो routine खराब हो गया है. Getting up, going to office, dress up and all that stuff. So you need to have that fixed routine. I would suggest everybody to ensure you have some kind of a routine. एक कुछ टाइम टेबल बनाना कि बॉस आज ये पढ़ना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. And there's a lot of information out there. Keep reading, keep studying. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है आपको कुछ बुक लवर होना चाहिए. मैंने आज तक अपने करियर, अपने लाइफ में एक बुक नहीं पढ़ी होगी कोर्स बुक्स के अलावा. But internet is there online. You see interviews. I used to see a lot of interviews online. कि लोग क्या बोलते हैं, क्या पूछते हैं. Talk to a lot of people. I enjoy talking to juniors from MBA, from BBS. Keep talking to people, keep approaching people, and just keep yourself updated. You should know current affairs में क्या चल रहा है, आजकल क्या हो रहा है. अगर कहीं पे कोई discussion चल रहा है, you should not be left out. You should be aware कि boss सब कुछ पता है.
Just to add, today is the app generation here. I mean, 2 to 3 apps जो generally आपके पास होनी चाहिए. पहली होनी चाहिए NDTV की ऐप. दूसरी जो मैं पहले से बताता रहता था, आज भी बता रहा हूँ, NDTV की ऐप बहुत जरूरी है. And let the notifications come in. Okay, dialogue अभी change नहीं हुआ शिवम. Second, there is a very interesting app called Blinkist, which gives you summary of books. So if you're not in the habit of reading books, वो आपको एक अच्छी 300 पेज की बुक 12 मिनट में सुना के आपको खत्म कर देती है. तो बहुत अच्छा है. नट शेल में बता देती है कि बुक में है क्या. So please go through it. अगर है तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. And any other current affairs app that you have will just keep you on your toes and on your
and just to add to it, आपने थोड़ा सा again philosophical है. You would have heard this thing, jack of all trades is master of none, right? I don't know how true it is. Personally, मेरा हमेशा से फंडा ये था, I should be jack of all trades. मुझे हर चीज थोड़ी आनी चाहिए. ठीक है, I mean you should be an expert in your field, but हर चीज का कुछ ना कुछ पता होना चाहिए so that you can have a meaningful conversation with anybody on anything. And वो आपको ये पढ़ के लोगों से बात करके ही आएगा.
Right, बहुत बढ़िया. एक संजीव का क्वेश्चन है, how is MBA from Singapore after 3 years of experience? It's a good option provided it's a good university है. अगर 3 साल काम करने के बाद एक substandard university में जाते तो that's a problem. But you have to now focus on getting yourself into a good branded college in Singapore or wherever it was. And Sarthak says, sir, I've joined Pratham. Thank you, Sarthak, for joining Pratham. I am in class 11. I want to crack IPM and DUJAT. Please give some tips, Shivam.
Just to add another point to the previous question, वो Singapore वाला MBA, it's good, it's definitely good, but just have that calculation in mind on the ROI part. You spend a lot of money, then don't later regret कि boss ये क्या है. So do that maths कि अगर मेरे को वहाँ से MBA करना है तो at least मेरी यहाँ पे job होनी चाहिए. So do that maths, okay? And then tips for BBS, I think for a person who's in class 11th, I think you focus on your board exams and you join Pratham and entrance exam की पढ़ाई तो ये लोग संभाल लेंगे. You just keep your flow and as I said, group discussion, PI के mock interviews जरूर दो. I think mock interviews is the biggest tip I can give. जितने ज़्यादा mock GDs और mock interviews attend करोगे उतना ही आपको जो actual day जिस दिन interview या GD होगा आपको कोई fear नहीं होगा. आपको लगेगा it's like any other interview. So I think the classroom knowledge your faculty will take care of, but from your side just be true to yourself. Mock GDs do, mock interviews do, and try to identify your weaknesses. If you know that current affairs is your weakness, तो उस पे काम करो. अपने try to grill yourself on that. आपकी जो weakness strengths identify करना important है, but if you ask me, अपनी weakness identify करना ज़्यादा important है. Strength आपकी है वो सबको कहीं ना कहीं पता चल जाएगा. Weakness को identify करना और उसको improve करना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. So if you are in school, try to work on that. आपकी vocabulary में weakness है, कुछ problem है, you work on that, right? So वहाँ पे आप थोड़ा सा time दीजिए.
Right. So बहुत बढ़िया answer. How was your experience, Shivam? Giving this interview.
I feel वो पूरा 10-year का journey ये 1 hour में I've lived it. It was amazing, sir. Talking to you, I think reliving those times. Pratham में जहाँ से so that was the starting point for me, right? I mean School, yes, I was from DPS RKpuram, सब कुछ था, सही था. But I think the day I decided to do BBS, वहाँ से I think my journey started. प्रथम से BBS, BBS से MBA, MBA से JP Morgan से Edelweiss. So amazing, sir. Thank you for this. Thank you for making me relive that entire journey in this event.
So thank you Shivam for sparing your time on a Sunday. ठीक है, बड़ी मुश्किल से मिला होगा. You have Monday coming up tomorrow, जहाँ पे वापस work from home करना है, काम वैसे ही करना है. So thank you for sharing this time, valuable time. You could have spent that with Parul, your fiance, right? Via social distancing. But thank you for sharing this time with us. It was, trust me, दिल से बात करिए तूने शिवम, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Whenever I get to interact with you, I can see, I can sense that passion in you about the work that you're doing, about the life that you're living. I hope you all the very best. Hope you have a very, very good married life. Say hi to Parul from our side. घूमते फिरते कैलाश कॉलोनी कभी भी आना हो, आ जाना. Provided we are allowed to open centers, we'll definitely.
I hope I was able to add some value.
I think, but people were able to relate with you a lot better. यार, हम बुड्ढे हो चुके हैं थोड़े से.
That was, I mean, so my objective was that only. I didn't want to share some ज्ञान. मेरे को real life experiences, जो मैंने गलतियां करी, जो मैंने कुछ चीजें सही करी, मुझे बस वही share करना था, so that students can relate to it, and probably even if I can add, I was able to add some 5-10% to their mindset, their way of thinking. I'm happy.
So any place, if any of the kids want to get in touch with you, you might want to share, or you want to keep it private?
Yeah, no. I'll share all my details, sir. I'm always there. Anybody wants to ask anything, just buzz me, just ping me. I'm always there.
Done. Thank you so much, Shivam. You were a fantastic person to call on episode 1 of Pratham AlumSpeak. Expected nothing less from this. I was expecting a great session. You delivered hands down brilliantly. A big round of applause for you. The kids can say their thank yous to you as well. But I hope you had fun. I had fun immensely talking to you yet again.
Fun, sir. All the best to everybody, and I hope the future sessions and my friends, the other alums, add more value. And all the best to everyone. Just one last thing. Tension nahi lena hai, lightly bhi nahi lena hai, but just keep doing what you're doing. Have faith in your teachers. Have faith in people like Ankit sir.
प्रथम की पब्लिसिटी मत कर, बस हो गया. यहाँ पे तेरे बारे में बात करनी है, योर जर्नी के बारे में बात करनी है, और बच्चे क्या सीख सकते हैं.
I'm always there, sir.
Thank you so much, Shivam. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, and you are brilliant as usual. You are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I hope all the others also enjoyed the sessions like we did in presenting it to you. Right. So I hope आप सब लोगों को मजा आएगा. Please join us again on another fantastic webinar where we get you to meet another Pratham alumni and help them relive their journey, help us relive our journey of teaching these wonderful kids and where we got them to build their careers and how they have shaped up in life, how our alumni have shaped up, and what you can learn from all of them. Thank you for joining us. You were a brilliant audience. If you want to give us feedbacks, please share on the YouTube as well as Zoom links as well as the Facebook Live. You can send us an email on alumspeak@prathamonline.com. तो alumni हैं हमारे, वो हमसे अगर वापस टच बेस पे होना चाहते हैं, please drop in a mail to alumspeak@prathamonline.com. We'll be more than happy to get you on board as well. Thank you very much. This is Ankit Kapoor from Team Pratham signing off. Good luck, good night, and take care. Bye.